What's up, everybody? The final week of the NFL regular season is here. Watch out for a lot of players that won't be playing or who will be sitting in the final week with nothing to play for, especially on teams like the Eagles. They're obviously sitting Saquon and a bunch of other players, mostly backups. You don't expect to see, Carson Wentz is going for Kansas City. There will be no Patrick Mahomes, no Travis Kelce, probably sit Chris Jones as well. So watch out for a lot of your props with players sitting today. I have not double-checked these as of yet, as it's pretty early in the morning when I'm doing this today. Let's start it off. Mason McTavish, over 1.5 shots on goal. He's covered 8 straight games, 9 of 10, averaging 3 shots on goal per game over those 10. He's in Tampa. He faces Tampa at home tonight. Minus 169 on Ballybet. Rashad White, over 21.5 rush yards. I did these stats at 23.5, where he's 8 of 10, averaging 42.6 per game over those 10. He's 2 of 2 versus New Orleans, averaging 49 per game versus the Saints. Minus 110 on FanDuel. I really like a couple kickers today. Jason Sanders over 6.5 points. He's hit this 8 of 10 over 6.5 kicking points, that is. He's covered 8 of 10, averaging 9.5 per game. 3 of 3 versus the New York Jets, averaging 11.33 kicking points per game. Versus the Jets, plus 100 on ESPN Bet. Jason Saunders again, over 1.5 field goals made. He's hit this 9 of 10, 3 of 3 versus the Jets, averaging 3 per game. Minus 105 on Hard Rock Bet. I'm also looking at Jake Elliott for his extra points over 1.5. That'll be a small play. In basketball, I've been looking at Brandon Miller's stats, especially his points and assists total. I did like his 3-point total when it was sitting at 1.5, but it's already jumped up to 2.5 and 3.5, so I will be staying away from that now. Where was I? Jason Sanders. I'll be looking at Baker Mayfield over his completions in this game today. I'm not sure if I'm going to play it. If I do, it'll just be a small quarter unit or half unit play. OKC Moneyline, the Thunder. I kind of like them as small favorites. 2 of the best teams in the NBA facing off tonight in the Celtics and Thunder. But I'd lean OKC. I'm probably going to put a half unit on them on the money line. They're 7-3 against spread, 4-6 straight up versus Boston. So I am going to put a half unit on OKC on the money line. Who am I kidding? New Orleans Pelicans, I'm looking at playing them. They're 7-3 straight up versus Washington, 6-4 versus Washington. You got 2 6-win teams playing here. New Orleans is on the road, but I think New Orleans has been more injuries, while Washington's just a bad team. So I'll take my chances on one bad team to beat another bad team, but that'll be a half unit play only. Carolina money line in hockey, Boston, New York Islanders. They'll get quarter unit plays. New York Islanders, Boston over the total. Overs hit the last 8 games between the two. I might make that a half unit play on the Boston Islanders over. Carolina on the money line, Carolina minus 1.5. I'll be putting a quarter unit on both of those plays, as they're 8-2 straight up versus the Penguins, their last 10. Toronto minus 1.5 full unit play, minus 175 on Pro Line. They're 8-2 versus Philly. The Leafs have averaged 4.88 goals per game in the last 7 meetings with the Flyers. The over is also 8-1-1. The Flyers allow an average of 3.56 goals per game, ranked 30th in the NHL. Their team save percentage is like 875 or something really low as well. So I'll be looking at the over in that game. If I do play the over, it'll be a quarter or half unit, not a full one. I will be putting the full one on Toronto minus 1.5. Willie Nylander, anytime goal. He's got 7 goals in 9 games versus the Flyers. He scored in each of his last 3 meetings versus the Flyers. I'll put a half unit on him for an anytime goal at plus 150 on Bet365. Full unit plays in the NFL sides here. Minnesota plus 3.5, minus 125 on Betway. Probably going to sprinkle a half unit on Minnesota on the money line as well. KC, I'll be doing the same thing. I like KC plus 11.5, minus 106 on Sport Trade. With no Kelce and no Mahomes, people don't think Wentz or Andy Reid will get it done. Over Denver, Denver is fighting. They need the win, but you know what? I like Kansas City to cover the spread. I do not see Denver blowing out Kansas City. I don't care if Denver wins by a touchdown. They're not going to win over the Chiefs by 12 points, in my opinion. Maybe I'm being a little stubborn and bullish on the Chiefs. If so, take that into account, but I'll be putting a full unit on them to cover the spread, and I'm also going to put a half unit on Carson Wentz being able to, actually, basically Andy Reid being able to outcoach the Broncos. LA Rams plus 7.5, minus 108 on Profit X. Good luck with all your bets. I might put a sprinkle on the Eagles with all backups. I don't recommend it. That is strictly because I am an Eagles fan. Good luck with your picks. Peace. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Right into the Super Bowl.